last time on the Great Ace Attorney 2.
Actually hoping that we could investigate the scene again.
Yeah, all right. If it's round here, you can do what you like. I'm going to be playing with my new friend here.
The machine that exploded must be at the top of those stairs, I presume. I haven't actually seen it yet, so if you don't...
Sorry, you can't go up there, Suze. Even I ain't allowed near that wreck. You're supposed to still get permission from, what was his name again? Lord Strange something. Last time the boss was called to go and see him, he waited for 3 hours at the Cove's office and came back snivelling.
Well, I mean, it is Gregson.
They took away my chip money.
Oh, no! I was told I had to reduce my sodium intake and I could only have 3 chips a day instead of 5.
Oh, look, is that Lord Van Zeeks?
Damn, she's seen through my invisibility cloak.
Oh, wait, I'm not wearing it. Damn.
So I think we're more or less done here, aren't we? Shall we, Mr. Sato?
Already?
He is the Reaper, remember? We do well to keep our distance, I think.
I want you to know that I can hear you.
But we have permission to be here, from the top.
State your business, then.
So, yes, I know you don't like me, but please tell me about the dead brother you have, which clearly traumatized you and changed the course of your life.
Oh, dear.
My older brother was also a prosecutor. He was the
Bride? The bride?
He looked beautiful in his wedding dress.
Oh dear, that was...
I was the flower girl.
That was a slight slip of the tongue. So, whoops. So, tell me, what's your interest in that historic incident?
There's a rather curious case that's come to our attention. Are you aware of the Madame Tuspells Museum of Waxwork? A particular waxwork has been stolen from the place and held for ransom.
Wait, you mean?
Yes, it's the professor. Are the police trying to locate Mr. Drebber already?
Surely that goes without saying.
We're very keen to see him found as well. The trouble is, we don't have much to go on.
We would very much appreciate any more clues you can give us.
Fine. I have a photograph of the man here from an investigation 10 years ago. Though it appears he already had that black monocle at the time. The file I requested for the trial tomorrow. Thank you.
Kazuma-sama!
What?
Oh, what?
I'm sorry, what?
I'm
sorry,
damn.
what?
Kazuma?
Your posture, your presence can only be... It's you, isn't it, Kazuma-sama?
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Disillusion Plays the Great Ace Attorney 2, Resolve, where we play the games and do the voices.
Yeah.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Pete.
And I'm Taylor.
Nice.
Nice.
And just
Nice.
before we jump on in, if you are new to the channel, then welcome. And would you please consider giving us a little like, smash that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell.
Yeah.
And leave a comment as well if you like.
Yeah.
We will try and read them.
Comments are fun.
Ah, yes, Heaven.
With his very, very rational and balanced and not at all insane-looking scribblings on the wall.
Yes.
No, he's a perfectly sane gentleman.
Well, I mean, the music also doesn't suggest anything untoward either, does it?
No.
Right then, I guess we're talking to him again.
Pete's so excited.
Everything I believed in has been turned on its head. My research, Mr. Assman, the kinesis machine, my hypothesis even.
I'm sorry it's come to this. There was really no other way. I had tried to, but you were very adamant and interrupting my defense in the middle of it.
It's not your fault. I wanted to protect my work, but in the end, there was nothing worth protecting. Unless...
Don't you dare.
It was never my intention to deceive anyone. One.
Anyone.
I didn't want to trick the public.
No, of course you didn't.
But in court this morning, I realized something.
Oh?
If you've done something wrong without knowing it, you've still done something wrong! Logically, it makes no difference if you were aware of it or not. Ignorance is a poor excuse. The blame still lies with me.
Oh, Professor.
He believed in me this morning, you know. Baroque did. You know, that grumpy man. I don't know why.
Grumpy boy.
Treble grumpy. He believed in my hypothesis.
Well, I think that was just a necessary factor in the prosecution establishing the case.
No,
Way
no.
to go to make somebody feel good, Mr. Naruto.
No. Baroque wouldn't do something like that. I'm sure he genuinely believed it.
Okay. All right. Well, you've already had enough of your beliefs stashed against the rocks today.
I
I'll
get
not
the
put your
sense-
bonfire again.
I get the sense that you might
Did
be
I hear a
mocking me.
gavel then?
I'll not wee on your bonfire.
There was a
Oh,
gavel.
there it is.
There was a gavel. I knew it. I thought I heard one.
It's like I
Did
get the
he?
sense. I get the sense that you're mocking me, Mr. Naruhodo. I think I understand now. Why it was that he decided to take on the prosecution in my trial, I mean.
Was it because he believed you?
After the terrible accident happened, nobody would believe in my hypothesis anymore. Not the police, not the prosecution service, not any lawyers even.
I feel like I dealt some kind of finishing blow there.
So if any other prosecutor had taken the case, if it was anyone other than Baroque, I'm sure the prosecution would have declared my hypothesis a complete and utter nonsense.
No. Why would they do that? That's not.
And in that case, you would have been declared a fraud yourself, Professor.
Exactly. Which would have been a fate worse than death for me. But Baroque insisted that I was a proper man of science, from start to finish.
You think that's why he?
I know him very well indeed.
You might have done a few years ago, but
Excuse
me?
He's an extremely kind-hearted soul.
Are we talking
Sorry.
Are we talking about the same person here?
You'll hear that even I fumble trying to say it.
But that extremely kind-hearted soul
Is dead.
spent all morning trying to paint you as a murderer, didn't he?
Well, I suppose if you put it that
overlooked
way.
that part.
Well, admittedly, that part of the analysis appears to have some flaws in it.
And what about the whole Reaper side of things? How does that fit in with the kind-hearted soul idea?
some things just can't be explained.
Do you think he set out to trick me from the very start?
Oh, no doubt.
I'm sorry to say, that does seem likely, yes.
Does the Pope wear a silly hat?
When I first met him, he introduced himself as a wealthy financier. He looked over the paper I'd written and said my work would benefit all humanity and must be pursued. He was so enthused. He was so empathetic. Emphatic. I know. He was so emphatic.
But in reality, he was the mastermind of some vast criminal network, it seems.
I still can't believe it.
Let me consult my book for a moment. As the machine was essentially a set decoration for some stage magic, it probably didn't require a large amount of investment, actually.
Oh, salt in the
Now-
wound.
Now who's twisting the knife, Miss Susato? Goodness.
I just take it as it is, Mr. Naruto. I'm trying to make you feel better. I don't want to give him too much false hope. He's had enough of that already.
But the scale of it! It wasn't just some small trick. It was a very elaborate feat of deception.
I am here, you know. I want you to know that I can hear you. All young scientists are full of hope about their burgeoning ideas, full of zeal. But none of us have any money! We'd want to do research, but we can't afford it. Many of us take on barely legal part-time work to try to earn a few measly pennies to carry on. To go through all of that, only to be taken for a complete fool. It's too rotten to believe.
It is, I agree. And that's why we have to find those responsible and bring them to justice. Mr. Asman is no more, of course, which leaves only the engineer.
Mr. Enoch Drebber.
Yes, the only one without the silly name. Is he an engineer, or a magician, or a swindler?
It was about a year ago when Mr. Asman first brought Drebber to meet me at my laboratory. Since then, I've met him many times to discuss details about the kinesis machine.
But at no point did you have any inkling that he was just an illusionist?
Oh, he definitely wasn't just an illusionist.
What do you mean?
He was a wealth of deep scientific knowledge. There's no question that the man's a genuine scientist. It's instantly apparent in conversation.
I see.
But the wretched man deceived you, Professor. It's unforgivable. We must do everything we can to find him and bring him to justice. And there are no more clues you can give us as to his whereabouts?
Not a dicky bird, then.
I'm sorry. We only ever discussed the kinesis machine. Nothing else.
Oh, bother.
Although, just once. I did visit his workshop.
What workshop?
At Drebber's enormous fabrication laboratory, where he constructed my great machine. Susato's slow turn.
You could have said that earlier.
And at this point, it's like Ryunosuke is slowly reaching through the gap in the bars with his hands going towards Hairbrain. What? Why didn't you mention this before? Enoch Drebber's workshop. There's every chance we might find the man there.
There you go. We'll get
Have you ever heard
somewhere.
of burying the lead, Professor Hairbrain? So you've been to Drebber's place of work, then?
Yes, just once, you understand. It was an enormous place. Plenty of room to construct the kinesis machine, you see.
Where can we find it? We have to get there at once. There's a good chance we'll find Drebber there.
Well, yes. Definitely, I'm sure. As in, I'm sure you're not going to want to hear this. But I have absolutely no idea where the workshop is at all.
What did he do? Blindfold you and put a bag over your head?
I was gagged and blindfolded. I'm so sorry.
I was more than half expecting that.
You see, I was blindfolded in the carriage the entire way there.
He blindfolded you? He wasn't taking any chances then.
The place was incredible. The pinnacle of modern engineering. Even the oil he used was the very best. A special French machine oil that's impossible to obtain in Britain. Ah, the indescribable scent of that imported oil.
Down, boy.
Perfumers across the world should forget their secret formulae and use that instead.
I think it has an aphrodisiac effect.
What do you think, Mr. Zato? O-Day machine for your next birthday?
I've never used any kind of perfume, Mr. Naruhodo, and I'm not sure I'd like to start with that. I don't suppose you know even part of the workshop's address, Professor? You don't have a business card from Mr. Drebber, for example.
The man was clearly very cautious, Mr. Zato. There's no way he would...
Aha! Yes, I do! He gave me this business card once. It's right here, look.
What?
Let me see that.
Throw etiquette to the wind, why don't you?
Enoch Drebber, engineer.
Excellent.
That's all it says.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that's all it says.
Yeah, but is it going to be one of those
There's
where...
no address.
It's going to be invisible ink.
I was going to
isn't
say, you turn it over and like soak it in water for 10 minutes or
Yeah.
something, and then like a sort of murky map, a fully detailed Marauders map.
I'm just waiting for it. My dear fellow, I have a solution for this problem.
We shall get his skin print and then
well-
trace him all over London.
Oh, God.
I have a solution, both literally and metaphorically, because the answer to the problem, you see, is in this bottle of solution that I have brought with me.
Excuse me, Hurley. I think you mean my solution.
Well, you know, we all contributed. Who's to say who can claim responsibility, really?
It's got my name written on the bottle, Hurley.
Oh, fancy that. No. Oh well, I can't say I'm surprised. Still, this could be useful.
Drebber's card.
We
Yes.
need to examine it.
Yep. Oh, and that's it. Good. No more talking to you for now. Right.
Pete's like, I've just spent an hour talking.
Oh.
Well, that's conspicuous. To myself, I'm done with voicing people.
I just... The minus
And
and
the
the plus.
plus.
It's like a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if it's like a circuit or something.
Maybe.
This dark smudge here.
I think perhaps it's machine oil.
Ah, yes, possibly. Professor Hairbrain mentioned something about the oil Mr. Drebber uses, didn't he? He said it was specially imported, very high-quality oil that's impossible to obtain in Britain.
Yes, that's right. But more importantly, it's more fragrant than the finest perfume. So, excuse me a moment.
She like dabs it under her armpits for a second.
No, I thought she was just going to hold the card up to her nose and take a deep sniff.
I think she's
yeah.
just going to like sort of wet the card a little bit and then just like rub it against her wrists and under her arms. Oh, no.
Oh, it doesn't appear to have any scent at all.
Oh, was she just referring to what Hairbrain said? Right, sorry.
Don't worry. I expect that's just because there's such a tiny amount on here.
Ah, but, oh my goodness, the dog. Doggo.
Oh, right!
Oh, yeah.
Gina's dog.
See, I didn't think of that because I was kind of thinking of like some weird roundabout way that there'd be like somebody would know, oh, actually, that oil would come in from this particular port,
Well-
and then they'd go to that, and then they'd ask where it's delivered to, and then they'd find out. But yeah,
I
maybe
thought
the dog.
something like that too.
Maybe
but,
the dog.
But no, the dog. It'll come back to the dog.
Yeah.
Gina, we've got a surprise for you.
You what?
There we go.
About this, Gina.
Yeah, I'm still learning me letters at the moment.
Oh, poor Gina. Oh dear.
I only know A to E, so if it ain't too much bleeding trouble.
Actually, Gina, it's the back of the card that's important.
Eh? How come? There's just a dirty old smudge on the back, that's all.
I feel like this is the one time my brain has actually has produced something
Yeah,
useful.
well done, you, Pete.
Yeah.
It turns out that this is a very high-quality French machine oil. It has a very particular scent, apparently.
You don't say. Let's have a whiff then.
Nothing.
And then she scrunches up the card and throws it away.
No.
Are you sure? I don't smell nothing.
No, we didn't mean that you should smell it.
Oh, right. You mean Toby?
Yeah, I didn't remember his name, I'm afraid.
Toby, yeah.
Oh my
Woof.
goodness. Woof.
His sense of smell is so good he can twat people over the oceans, can't he?
Mr. Odo, are you feeling all right? You're talking all mushy.
Oh, yes, fine.
Professor Hairbrain informs us that this oil is unique to Mr. Drebber's workshop.
Sasato's like, are you all right there, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, yes, I'm just fine. He's a good boy. He's just so good, this boy.
I think I'm going to have to put him back in the asylum.
No.
I guess she's wielding him like a gun.
I'm just thinking of like the guy with the cat. The cat, and it like shakes him and he meows
No,
like a machine.
that's
gun.
mean.
Pete, I think you mean dog.
I'm just amused that she's wielding him like a gun. Sniff, 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 sniff. Woof!
I think he's picked up a scent.
So you mean if he follows the scent of this oil, Toby could lead us to that dodgy cove's workshop?
That's
Yes,
right.
he could. Yes, he could.
Mr. Naruhodo, stop talking in baby language. It's very unbecoming of a gentleman your age.
I'm terribly sorry. I don't know what's come over me.
But he is so adorable. Yes, he is.
Can't do it, it's Susato.
That's right. That's exactly what we were hoping.
All right then, we'll give it a go. I'll just borrow that.
What? Wait, when did you... Once a pickpocket.
If I can lead everyone to that Drebber's workshop, I'll be the boss's boss before next week.
The bosses.
Oh, yes, Gina. I'm sure you'll be promoted.
Poor Gregson.
He'll be down to
I
gumshoes
feel
level
a
before nothing.
strange thing overcoming me. Why do I feel this fear of it, this sense of impending doom?
I think what you mean is, oh, I'm getting a wee headache all of a sudden.
yeah. Right then, Odo, leave it to me.
Sorry?
We've got to get going after that dodgy ending here, Cove, right? This. Sorry. No, let me. Can I do that again? It came out.
Yes.
wrong.
You may.
We've got to get going after that dodgy engineer Cove right this minute. Oh, but hang on. Someone's supposed to be on guard duty here all the time.
I am afraid we can't help. We need to get on with our investigation as well, Gina.
And those people in the background are just static assets. They're not actually real.
They're just cardboard cutouts.
It's like, oh no, we're surrounded. By what? It's a matte painting.
Oh, right. Oh well, never mind. It ain't gonna be me what gets it in the neck. It'll be the boss.
Poor Gregson. Again.
Ready, Toby? Got that oil scent, have you? Come on then, boy. See you later.
Zoom.
I do hope the scent of that oil leads them to that swindler's workshop.
Yes, I hope so too. Although I am a little concerned about sending her off by herself to the lair of a suspected criminal without any backup. Oh no, she'll probably be fine. Ideally, before the dog swims across the channel to France. Well, I think we've done all the investigating we can here for now. If we could just determine the whereabouts of Mr. Drebber.
I'm sure Gina and little Toby won't let us down.
Yeah.
Now then, do you think we ought to try and speak with Mr. Sholmes at this point?
Why? What good will that do?
Oh yes, to find out if he knows about Kazuma's body getting up and walking off by itself.
Oh, yes.
We have things to discuss, and I'm dying to meet him after all these months. To give him a good thrashing.
Phrasing!
Yes.
I
It's
don't
quite-
beat that way.
Oh, I'm doing it again.
34!
And she's 10.
It's-
Yeah.
No,
or whatever it is.
well,
I know.
she's 16.
Yeah. Oof.
Stop it.
Yep. Ugh.
Yes, it's quite possible he might know something useful. You're right, just by odds of sheer probability, but we ought to find him at Madame Tuspells. He's supposed to be working there as a temporary waxwork exhibit.
Yes, Iris told me about this latest unusual venture.
Unusual is a word for it, yes.
Creepy is more how I would describe it.
Alrighty.
Oh dear. Here we are again. The House of Horrors. I'm afraid I haven't got used to the place yet. I'd still like to turn on my heels and go straight home. By the confectionery, of course.
I just eat all these snacks to feel better.
Hey, don't judge.
Suzette
I'm
has-
with Susato on this.
Susato-san really is after something sweet today, isn't she?
Yes, and I keep dropping hints and nobody's picking up on them.
What's the matter?
Look! Mr. Naruhodo! Look at that waxwork! I'm quite sure it wasn't there before.
There he is.
My dear.
It looks exactly like Mr. Sholmes, down to the very last detail.
Aha!
What is it?
Oh, sorry. I think you'll find... That's the temporary waxwork himself.
Oh. Ah, the friend of my dedicated employee.
Oh, yes, hello again. It's Ryunosuke and Susato.
I must say I'm quite spellbound by the great detective.
Spellbound.
He is a marvel.
Okay.
What lies has he been telling you now? My precious waxwork is already back where it belongs.
You don't mean...
Oh, we're gonna peek behind the curtain.
But oui, the mystery is solved already.
Wow. Mr. Sholmes can really engage his brain when he's hungry enough.
So as you can see, he has returned to his, habitual duties.
Yes.
His habitual duties? Alors, shh, do not disturb, eh?
Poor Susato-san. She looks very perplexed.
Mr. Naruhodo, what is going on?
I'm in love is what's going on.
What? With whom?
I'm going to give them a Susato takedown. Through here, perhaps.
I go away for 6 months, and this is how you repay me. Your heart belongs to another.
Ah, yes, the heavy curtains in the middle of the House of Horrors. Whatever's on the other side of them, you just know it's going to be terrifying, don't you?
A big cat.
The
House
sign,
cat, I mean.
the sign says the Madame... sorry. The sign says it's the Madame Tuspells special exhibit. It seems you have to pay extra to go inside.
I know! Can you believe that? Pay more money as if we haven't been scared enough already!
It's not my doing, Mr. Naruhodo.
No need to shout. Oh, okay.
It's like his solution was to just dress up Iris as the waxwork, and now she's in there as well.
That is a funny thought. So I thought we'd be able to speak.
Do we just have to just poke at Sholmes anyway?
I guess we will, yes.
We really do need to speak with Mr. Sholmes, and I am longing to say hello again. But where is he?
They don't suspect a thing.
He's behind you!
She might hear you.
One hop this time. 2 hops this time.
Cha-cha,
Slide
real
to
smooth.
the left. I think you might find that he's quite nearby, actually.
Oh? What do you...
My dear fellow, indeed, it is I. And I know I said that slightly out of order. It's because I wanted to say my dear fellows, and it was like, okay, well, whatever. The world famous great detective and waxwork, Sherlock Sholmes. Stunned to silence, I see.
What?
Oh no, she's fainted!
Susato-san!
She's
I-
fainted.
Oh dear. Someone might, you might
Well,
think she's seen a ghost.
I've just had that effect on a woman before.
My most humble apologies.
I thought I died and gone to eternal paradise for a moment. Via London.
We took the underground to get there. My dear madam, allow me to make amends by offering you a tasty free deduction at some point.
As long as it's not of questionable street food quality.
I don't understand. Are you working as a waxwork here, Mr. Sholmes?
Merely a secret identity, you understand. Though the case is largely solved now.
Largely solved?
Yeah.
We're talking about the waxwork abduction, I presume.
Indeed, we are, my good fellow. As I predicted, it was as easy as proverbial pie. Though I confess, I am yet to partake of a pie, proverbial or otherwise, or any food so far today, for that matter. Actually, I'm quite terribly hungry.
The tummy wummy has the rumbly wumblies, as you can hear.
That stomach rumble echoed around the whole museum. So, how did you manage to solve it so quickly?
Ah, well, do remember I said it was largely solved. Anyway, I simply negotiated with the culprit. Are you familiar with the so-called telephone?
Ah, yes. It's a most modern invention, allowing you to hold a conversation with people far away.
I should have said telephone or something.
Telephone.
Telephone or something. Just like, it's like, I think you mean telephone, Mr. Sholmes.
In Japan, only the imperial capital and a handful of other cities are connected as yet.
This morning, a telephone call was received here from the perpetrator of the abduction. As such, I was able to negotiate terms, and in the end, the waxwork was returned. I just promised that I'd give them the sum of £1 million, and I'd deliver it tomorrow morning for no particular reason, without specifying how. And yes, that's all we've got to do, everybody.
I wouldn't be too surprised if that wasn't far from the truth.
Yeah,
where it's
Well.
I'm 100% sure it'll be something like that.
Hurley, why have my life savings disappeared?
Really, why are we now homeless?
Why the bailiffs repossessing everything?
No reason, my dear. Go back to bed.
They've taken my bed, Hurley.
I shouldn't have had tea then.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was going to say, but they've taken my bed.
That's amazing. And as a level of competence I've come to not expect from you.
Just between you and I,
Oh, what have you done?
it would appear the culprit had always intended to return the stolen waxwork in any event.
Oh? But I thought whoever was responsible had demanded a ransom.
Oh, yes, a bit of this, bit of that. I mean, who was to say, really? I
What
just,
have you done, Mr. Sholmes?
I just said that I'd give them the ransom and everything's fine. Of course, I'm not going to give them the ransom. Don't be ridiculous, of course. Yes, I think perhaps the ransom demand was necessary to avoid unwanted suspicion regarding the true motive.
But does that not mean your negotiation was entirely unnecessary?
Well, I wouldn't go that far, dear. I mean, please don't say that so loudly next time, because then I might have to try and convince people that I am, in fact, the great detective, and that there was a good, important reason. A fact that I must inform you to keep from Madame Tuspells at all costs. I am very hungry, and she has promised me a burger, okay? Shh. A hungry young Iris awaits my return to Baker Street, after all.
Poor Iris.
Now then, do I sense that you have some business with this great waxwork? Great waxwork. Okay, well, Enoch Drebber first, I guess.
We're in the process of trying to track somebody down.
Oh?
Yes, a man by the name of Enoch Drebber. He's the swindler who duped Professor Hairbrain and the engineer who built the kinesis machine.
A swindler and an engineer. Quite the modern man.
He also seems to be a conjurer of sorts, too, with considerable knowledge of stage magic. We really need to locate him before the trial resumes tomorrow morning. But we have so few clues to go on, that's the trouble. Although, we've already dispatched somebody to find it, so I'm not quite sure why the context of this conversation is going this way. But do you have any good ideas?
Well, he's probably still hesitant that they'll be able to find him, I guess.
I was going to say, yeah, it doesn't hurt to have a backup plan, I suppose. I have no data yet. It is a capital mistake to have good ideas before one has data. If I knew something of the man's appearance, at least, I may be in a better position to help.
Yes, Drebber's appearance.
Fortunately for you, however, presently I have little to occupy myself and little to fill my stomach, although that last part perhaps isn't quite so important for you, but as soon as you find any clue, no matter how small, I should gladly give you my thoughts on it. Does this mean we can present him some random rubbish?
Probably.
Let's present him some random rubbish. All right then. What about the screwdriver?
Mr. Sholmes, about this.
Yes, well, as you see, I did say that I would allow you to see any clue. However, not that one. As you will see, I'm rather busy at the moment. If it's advice you seek, come to my office tomorrow, and I shall be happy to help you. Shall we say threepence per item as a consultation fee?
That's 2 hours of gas, that is. Gas.
Not
That's
if
2 hours of gas, that is.
Not if you pour
It's the
candles.
picture of Drebber.
Not if you pour wax into a bar of soap, of course.
Mr. Sholmes, would you cast your eyes over this photographic print?
It's of Mr. Enoch Drebber.
My goodness, whoever sketched this illustration was very talented. It almost looks like a photograph.
It is a photograph, Mr. Sholmes.
Oh, well, I knew that, of course.
The face of the engineer we seek.
Well, all Englishmen look broadly the same, of course. So looking at the photograph won't be particularly instructive.
Are you all right, Mr. Sholmes?
I'm deactivating.
Nope, sorry, can't help it.
Yes, forgive me. Very interesting, this. Very interesting indeed.
What's wrong, Mr. Sholmes? You've turned quite pale all of a sudden.
And that's truly saying something. Well, nothing. Nothing at all.
Oh.
What?
Okay, I guess that was it.
All right then.
Okay.
Let's present something else
I don't
silly.
think...
Gun.
The gun.
It's gonna be the same thing.
All right, I'm gonna try his arm. I'm gonna do Ryunosuke's armband, and then that'll be it.
I've seen you wearing that 1,000,000 times.
Boo, boo, boo. Show us anything, no matter how small, as long as it's the actual
It's not
thing.
small enough. We need to go smaller. The screwdriver.
Phrasing. Anyway.
No, for God's sake.
All right, none of those. That's enough.
Okay, I guess.
I guess we'll talk to him about Kazuma.
Yes.
Kazuma.
Kazuma.
Mr. Sholmes, did you lie to us?
Oh, just
Me?
come out with it.
Me? Lie? No, don't be ridiculous, man. My dear Mr. Naruhodo, stay that piercing stare. What is this about?
Last winter, when we were first on our way to Britain aboard the steamship.
Yes, back when I had quite the different accent.
Yes.
Your words were very clear.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder.
You told us that it was murder. And you examined Kazuma-sama's body.
Indeed. And wherein lies the problem?
Well, that body appears to have got up and walked away.
We met him earlier today. The victim, Kazuma Asogi.
Surely you jest.
Don't call me Shirley.
You're quite sure?
He was wearing some sort of mask and was apparently suffering from amnesia.
I'll have to berate Iris. Obviously, the is dead or is alive goggles aren't working correctly.
But yes, I'm quite sure it was Kazuma-sama.
Intriguing.
You must have known at the time, Mr. Sholmes,
No. Honestly, Iris's goggles faulty.
that he wasn't actually dead.
Iris must have gone and mixed up the redstone is not gate again.
It's like, excuse me, is it me or is it a little bit warm in here? Like, yeah, well, I can only assume I was swept up in the murderous atmosphere of the moment. How can I make my swift exit?
Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Sholmes,
Don't mind me. Yes, I'm going to go home now.
it seems, Mr. Sholmes, that you haven't been on the end of a Susato takedown
Anytime recently.
but you're going to find out now.
Oh, no. But the fellow wasn't dead at all. Priceless.
You know how you've talked before about Susato fancying Sholmes? I have a feeling that that's going to stop being a thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't suppose that performance would pass muster. Would it? Mr. Naruhodo, please.
Sticky.
Please.
It's
We
time.
are still friends.
Sick him.
We are.
Stick him!
We are. You still. We're still friends, right? Yes?
I don't think you and Susato will be.
I could believe that the crewman present at the time made a mistake. But not you, Mr. Sholmes.
Oh, dear.
I'm not entirely sure that I quite like the tone of voice you're using with me, Mr. Naruhodo. I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow.
Exit stage right.
It's it's gonna throw like a freaking like a
Deku nut.
yeah, I'm gonna say like a smoke bomb at the floor and then he's gone. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that.
Please, Mr. Sholmes.
I thought we were friends. Will you not allow me to have this one? Tomorrow in court, you will find yourself on the threshold of a very great mystery. For now, I'm afraid that is all I can say. Intriguing. I have a suggestion, Mr. Naruhodo. Will you indulge me?
Oh, well, what is it?
At this point, we might as well.
I've got nothing else better to do.
As I explained to you when you arrived, the missing waxwork has been returned. And I personally reinstalled it in the exhibit from which it was taken, behind those thick curtains.
Oh, yes, the Professor exhibit, isn't it? Oh, Professor.
That's right. Oh, you'd like to see it? The prosecutor? For a mere 5 shillings? Wouldn't it be really cool if it was like a statue of flipping Miles Edgeworth? It's like, I mean, it won't be. Obviously, it's a joke. But imagine if it was. Like, oh, Easter egg.
I just find it funny that literally in the outtakes for the Ace Attorney series, it's got like the guy playing Gumshoe's like, "Hey, Professor Edgeworth." What? Professor?
Would you like...
And like that same case at like the same point even. That's what's funny about it.
Yeah.
Is it's like we made that same mistake right about then.
Yeah. Would you like to see it? For a mere 5 shillings? That's a special one-time only price.
Phrasing!
You understand? What? Did I... Oh,
Would you
oh,
like
God.
to see it?
I'm like, what did I say? What did I say? But like, I see it. Oh, I see what you're doing here.
What?
I mean, I know we're friends. That's why I've given you the discount. It would normally be 10 shillings, you understand. The opportunity won't come again, I might add. Wouldn't you like to see the fruits of my labor?
Oh, has he made a terrible waxwork of
What,
it?
like the flipping Jesus
Yes,
painting?
probably.
Oh,
dear.
jeez.
He's done a restoration.
Oh dear. Oh, well, we do have a rather pressing investigation to carry out. Perhaps we could postpone?
The price is a very reasonable 5 shillings. I think you'll find it's well worth it. But I don't have any money, Mr. Sholmes.
Are you being quite serious, Mr. Sholmes?
Surely you need only look at my expression to ascertain if this is seriousness or silliness.
I can never tell with you. That's the point.
Also, I just love that he's pulling the exact same face as normal.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Very well. Couldn't hurt. Here's your 5 shillings.
Susato!
For shame.
Gratefully received. Got him.
Don't worry, I'll get Gina to pickpocket back later.
Oh, clever. So, the special exhibit awaits behind the curtain. I invite you to peruse it at your leisure.
Oh God, what are we gonna see? What are we gonna see?
Thank you.
Oh boy. Okay, well.
Well, the money's been spent, so let's go and see the special exhibit.
Oh, and I was going to stop by the confectionery on the way home.
Oh,
Oh, well.
But now I can't afford the snacks.
Through those heavy curtains at last.
Oh, it's gonna be awful.
Oh,
Oh God.
God,
Really?
why are they doing this?
Teasing us.
Right.
Okay, let's find
Come
out,
on.
boys.
5 shillings we've had to pay. Doesn't seem right somehow that Mr. Sholmes slipped the money into his own pocket, does it?
No.
If they go, especially after seeing that. Sarah! Oh my God! Flipping.
What?
Jeez.
I am one with Susato.
I just love that. That freaking the life of crime sort of is like rubbing off on Susato here. Life of crime mentality.
Yeah.
We could ask Gina to retrieve it for us, using her special skills.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, nothing.
Pickpocketing police officers and diddling detectives. Is this what makes Britain great?
Sounds like the Metropolitan Police Department of late.
Not to mention demigod prosecutors taking the law into their own hands or chip-loving inspectors.
Inspector Gregson comes off rather well in that list, I think.
Oh, very much.
For a once.
Are they actually going to show?
Bum ba-da-dum, bum bum ba-da-dum, bum.
Drum roll, please.
If it comes back out in the room again and it's like, oh, that terrible exhibit. Oh. Oh my.
Oh, goodness.
Oh dear, I felt a shiver run down my spine as we walked in here.
Miss Susato!
Oh my God, the owl on the
Oh,
tree
shit!
there.
Oh, wow. No, you mean who? I say we turn on our heels and go straight home. We are a really big confectionery.
That sounds like a wonderful idea. We certainly can't do that. We've paid 5 shillings already.
I'm very cross about it, actually.
True.
Oh, God. It's quite grisly.
Actually, now I'm looking a little more closely. You could say that the case seems to have come to a head.
Or rather not.
We've paid good money to see an exhibit that's clearly incomplete. The nerve of the great diddling detective is far more terrifying than anything else in this place.
This must be what Mr. Sholmes meant when he said the case was largely solved.
Be that as it may, Mr. Sholmes heavily implied there'd be a clue about the engineer in here, didn't he? But where? Since we've paid 5 shillings, let's do 5 shillings worth of investigation, shall we? I don't know if that's a lot of money or a little bit of money.
I'm not actually sure.
Yes.
Bally inflation?
I think it's probably quite a bit.
Yes. We will get what we pay for.
Is that fear or frustration that's making Susato-san's voice tremble?
I'm perfectly fine. Mostly.
Miss Susato, you're cutting off the circulation to my hand.
Oh, sorry.
So...
God, that's yeah.
No, we can't.
Oh,
we can't
the
examine.
owl blinks. The owl blinks.
Yeah.
Oh God! Oh no!
Well, the lights go off.
Oh Jesus!
Oh, you can make the buttons go away. So there's this person, there's the grave, and the gravestone there, and then
I
that's
feel
kind
like
of
the
it.
gravestone. I wonder if they're pulling a weird face. I can't tell.
It does look like they're pulling a weird face. But the bottom lip jutting out
Yeah,
there.
yeah. This part of the exhibit is just as disturbing as the rest. Looks so real.
It seems to be a young man in a white overcoat.
And he has a large shovel in his hand, too. Look!
No, that's a
It's a
spade.
spade.
Perhaps we should investigate in a little more detail.
Oh, zoom. We still
And
don't
it just,
get to see
and it
the
just
face.
turns round and looks at them.
Oh, we can see the face. Maybe.
Nope.
Oh,
No.
Oh. Oh, that's Drebber.
Wait, what?
That's Drebber's face.
Yeah, because it's got the eye patch thing.
Well, it's,
Oh, wow.
Or it looks like him.
Kind of, yeah.
It mimics him.
All right, so I guess.
I wonder, is he pretending to be a waxwork as well?
God, I'm waiting for it to move.
That's quite a large lamp the man's carrying. Or is it a lantern? Wow. Or is it a lantern? It's not unlike a Japanese chochin?
I don't know.
Chochin paper?
Chochin paper lantern, actually, is it?
Lamp, lantern, chochin. The point is, it's cast. The point is, it casts very little light. To be walking alone in a graveyard at night with only this. Well, I certainly wouldn't do it.
I'm not sure I could visit a graveyard at all, even in broad daylight, to be honest.
All right then. I mean,
Let's examine this
the camera definitely.
spade.
I want to examine the spade. I'm just trying to. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
There we go.
But a large shovel. He's holding it rather ominously, isn't he?
Well, if you saw something crawling out of a grave, that was how I'd grab the shovel.
Yeah.
What on earth was the man doing with a shovel in a graveyard in the middle of the night?
Mr. Susato.
I don't mean to be that person, but I
actually.
I must correct you, Mr. Sato.
Yes?
That's a spade, isn't it?
I just thought how awkward it is. She's like, he's trying to be serious, and he's
Oh.
like, excuse me, actually, I think you'll find it's a spade.
I sadly can't remember the name, but somebody in the comments put, I like to call it a shade.
Yeah. Yeah.
You call it a spade, you call it a shovel, I like to call it a shade. Which killed me.
Which, yeah, is what Susato's been going to be throwing a lot of on Ryunosuke.
Right, yeah.
No, it's a shovel.
No. Shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade.
We've been through this, Mr. Naruhodo. It's a shovel.
No. Although, we haven't considered trowels.
That's a different thing entirely. We've allowed ourselves to be distracted, I feel.
The low-key telling off.
Perhaps we should concentrate on what the man was doing with the implement.
Yes, we should concentrate on what the man was doing with the spade. So, we're going to bury the hatchet?
We're probably going to need a spade then, aren't we?
I heard that.
You're right, though. What was the man doing in the graveyard in the first place? With a spade? That's the real question.
Yeah, I was going to say, is he going to slip one in right at the end? He
Mr.
didn't.
Naruhodo.
But you did, Taylor.
If I wasn't so scared, I would beat you.
I would beat you within an inch of your life.
If I wasn't holding your hand to keep myself from being so frightened, I would beat you! What's this here?
Well, it would appear that to be a lens in the middle, so I believe it's probably a camera.
A camera? But it's so small! British technology is incredible, isn't it? I mean, what about Mr. Sholmes' skin prints?
I think perhaps you should treat Mr. Sholmes' inventions as exceptions to the rule.
I think you mean Iris's inventions. But
Yes.
But anyway, why would the man be in a graveyard at night with a camera?
I wonder. Perhaps he was trying to capture the moment a dead body came back as a ghost on film.
I'll just borrow this for a little while, I think.
what? Oh, okay,
What?
all right then.
Wow, I guess we see where Maya gets it from.
Who's Maya?
She's just learning from Gina.
Yes.
By looking at the photographic plate inside the camera, we can see what picture was taken.
What's a photographic plate?
It's a piece of glass coated in a special emulsion that reacts to the light coming through the lens. If we open the cover at the back of the camera, we should find it. Let's have a look.
Was that in your book as well, Mr. Sato?
Ryunosuke's just like, well, I'm afraid all of that went over my head, Mr. Sato. Could you explain slightly more slowly, and perhaps as if I was 5?
You should see yourself, Susato-san. Your eyes are shining. You really do like machinery, don't you?
Alrighty. I guess we have to investigate the camera in just a moment, so I guess that's it.
Could you not see his face?
No.
Oh.
So, court record.
Although it's not checked off, is it?
What isn't checked off? I mean, you could look. Let's have a look. I don't think I can. Oh, all right.
Oh, we can look at his
you're
face.
Right. Sorry, it's because it's like slightly out of the, onto the edge there. I didn't think we could.
I can't see his face very well, can you? Perhaps if we moved the camera?
No.
It was like, perhaps if I just...
Perhaps if I
Oh,
just...
Oh! Do you think you should be manhandling the exhibits, Mr. Naruhodo?
I'll put it back exactly as it was, don't worry.
Oh, all right then. Oh.
I really feel like we didn't need to turn it around to do that.
No.
No.
Ah!
What on earth? How can...
I don't believe it. A black monocle!
Mr. Naruhodo! Is it possible that this man is...
Yes. It's Enoch Drebber!
The color of his hair is different, but...
It's unmistakably him!
Has the stress of seeing the professor rise out of the grave caused his hair to turn white then?
Oh, someone. Indeed it is. Who knows?
Who's this?
I wasn't touching
Oh,
anything!
it's her, look.
It's hell. Indeed it is.
Mr. Sholmes!
This man is the subject of your present hunt, I believe.
Yes, that's right. Just who is this man? Why is he here on this exhibit? And why does the convict behind him have no head?
The head was missing when the model was returned by the thief who stole it.
What a surprise.
So then the case isn't yet solved, is it?
Did I not say so myself? Largely solved were my words, I believe. But I must locate the missing head, toot sweet, as Madame would say, or I'll be in grave trouble.
Oh!
A very hungry Iris still awaits my return to Baker Street, preferably with rations.
Ahag!
Do you know, though? Something about this room is strange.
Is it
Just one thing.
Is it the lighting?
No.
Strange.
What do you mean? No, she's not Hajime.
She's just like, I feel like we're being watched, Mr. Naruhodo.
Maybe.
I can't shake this feeling.
Nah.
Well,
I always feel like somebody's watching me.
well, the displays in the House of Horrors are supposed to depict real events, are they not?
Indeed they are, Miss Susato. Do go on.
And as terrifying as they are, the scenes in the other exhibits are believable. But this one... This surely couldn't ever really have happened, could it?
Well, I suppose if the man was buried alive, then it could be possible. He could also have very, supreme strength. But I suppose I am clutching at straws a little bit, aren't I? I think it's time I educated you a little. About the nature of the incidents involving the prosecutor 10 years ago.
gasps in British.
Oh, whoopsie daisy. And we run away. We're like, no, bye.
No.
Confection area.
Mr. Naruhodo, where are you going?
I believe I told you a little about the professor yesterday, did I not? He took the lives of 5 victims, everyone being either a member of the aristocracy or royalty. All were attacked by an enormous hunting hound and had their throats ripped from their bodies.
Oof.
Oh, gosh. An enormous hound? How awful.
A direwolf.
And that hound's name?
Baskerville.
After taking the life of his 5th victim, the killer was apprehended. It was a case of unprecedented magnitude in Britain, you understand? Accordingly, the professor...
Oh, you weren't doing a
I
bit.
wasn't doing a bit that time.
That time, no. The professor was tried in a closed court. No members of the public were permitted.
A closed court? So you mean that the professor's identity...
As you've surmised, my dear fellow, his identity was never made public.
Oh.
Naturally, he was found guilty and was summarily sentenced to death by hanging.
But was he?
He was buried in a grave at Lowgate Cemetery, which adjoins the rear of the prison where he had been held. However, that was not the end of the affair.
Oh?
The very night that he was buried, the convicted man came back to life. Sinister strings, please.
Iris? Strike up the choir.
Came back to life?
Like little conductor Iris.
Yeah.
He clawed his way out of the ground and emerged into the moonlit graveyard. The exhibit here depicts that very scene, as described by the sole witness to those chilling events.
There was a...
Ryunosuke. Ryunosuke. Use your thinking brain. I know you've got one.
There was a witness.
But was there a witness?
See, it's making me think of the whole, what was it in Pirates of the Caribbean thing about this saying like, oh, he never leaves anyone alive and all this. They're saying, oh, if it doesn't leave anyone alive, then who says all the stories? Where do all the stories come from?
Yeah. But yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
No one alive. And then where do the stories come from?
Basically, yeah, that's the one.
But yes, unfortunately, we're going to have to find out if there was a witness next time.
Indeedy doody. I mean, you'd think there was a witness because this exhibit is literally depicting a witness.
No spoilers! Anyway, if you do like what we do, then please consider giving us a like, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, and you'll be notified of our video uploads every Wednesday and Saturday.
Indeedy. And so we will catch you next time for the hot spade versus shovel discussion.
How will it end? Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Who will win?
See you next time, guys.
And remember, lads, until we see you again, try not to lose your heads.